good. Alright. Let's see. I think everything's good here. How is everybody doing today? See, Juan has said hello in chat. Let's go ahead and get up to, I think everything's set up on my desk now. I think we're good. So let's go ahead and start doing these Shaymin Encounters. It's been like 3 weeks since I last did it. Not super intentionally, but I haven't had much of a choice in a lot of it. At least the past week I haven't had much of a choice. Before that I did make some conscious decisions to be like, I'll do it, what became last week. Or this past week, and then wasn't able to. Let's get the Shaymin. Alright, there we go. There we go. So let's see. If we could get super lucky today and just like immediately knock this thing out, that'd be fantastic. I have so many BDSP legends to get through and mythicals to get through. It's wacky. No, I didn't want to battle. There we go. And I can do things now. I have both hands again. Like last stream I was still in the brace, so like I was trying to one-hand the soft resets, the runaways. And like I didn't have all the buttons I needed mapped in case I goofed up. I only had the buttons I needed for things to go well on a controller. Hey Colin, what's going on? If anyone asks, you're working. If anyone asks, I'm on summer hours. But hope you're doing well, Colin. Hope your work week's going well. It's almost the weekend. Hope things are wrapping up for you nicely. It's good to see you. But yeah, no, I've been wanting to like start up these streams and like get really into some more streaming stuff. Like for the past 3 weeks, I think. I'd had these kind of plans in my head, and things just kept tripping me up. So for those who are newer, I guess, like my office does summer hours from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Effectively, you know, the American summer. And, hey, Beck, how's it going? And you're just chilling. Awesome one. But yeah, so my office does, yeah, summer hours from basically the end of May to the start of September. And 2 weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago, basically, summer hours started. And I was hoping to be able to start doing, like, the summer of streams and kind of, like, do a ton of stream stuff. I wanted to kind of pick this up. I keep hitting the, like, cable on my mic. I don't know if that's going to pick up. But I've been wanting to start, like, doing some streams. Like, right now I'd be wanting to actually be, like, at the tail end of, like, a Let's Go stream kind of thing. We're basically, like, to explain summer hours, Monday through Thursday work an extra hour. And then Friday take 4 hours off, which is nice. Basically, I'm done at, like, noon, even with, like, that's, like, 5 hours of work for me, you know? So, like, I was like, alright, we can do that. 2 weeks ago, my coworker had an unscheduled, like, meetings, and I was like, hey, are you gonna unschedule them? And they went offline for summer hours, so I never got a yes. So, so I didn't do it then, and I was like, whatever. So I didn't do it then, and last week, I was like, you know what? I was like, it's like, whatever, because, you know, I wasn't going to be able to do it last week. For those of you guys who are on Discord and follow me on Twitter, you guys probably know. You're at work, you're chilling, it's so dead. It's just that, like, Friday afternoon stuff, you know? A nice relaxing weekend of listening to Muse Gen 3 cry. Always the most peaceful sounds. But yeah, so, like, my plan was for those, like, so I was like, you know what, I'll kind of postpone it to, like, I'll postpone it a bit, that's fine, because I knew I was going to be out a lot of last week. For those who were on Discord and on Twitter and stuff, I was at MomoCon, had an absolute blast. I'll talk a little bit more about that, for sure, at points in this, in the stream. And then I was like, but, you know, I'll get home from MomoCon Sunday, like Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, I'll be home. Monday's Memorial Day, I might be doing stuff with family, that was kind of the plan. So I was like, maybe I do like a morning stream on Monday, or I just pick it up Tuesday. It's after Memorial Day now, and we just run it run it all the way to Labor Day. That was kind of my goal and my plan and what I really wanted to do. And then again, for those of you who are on Discord and Twitter, I woke up Monday feeling like crap. And it was like, you know what? If I'm going to see family, I want to at least be able to be like, I'm coughing, but don't worry, I tested negative. And then I tested positive, and it was a mess for a week, basically. You're dead, but you're finalizing your master's application. Yo! Oh, it's dead, but you're finally... Okay. Yo, that's awesome. Sorry. I will be coughing slightly. I'm like 99% of the way better. I'm at that final step of sound sicker than I feel. Where I'm just like the last bits of stuffy. Where like everything's cleared out of me. Like the actual virus is gone, you know? And my body's just like making sure kind of deal. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, so that's why there weren't streams this week either, is because I was dead. Like, oh boy, that was awful. But yeah, so I guess, yeah, summer streams. We're finally officially starting them today. And hey, Kooky, what's going on? You just got a shiny magic card. Congrats. The virus I got a stash. It's a very little talked about side effect. But yeah, so summer streams, sorry, I was like trying to swallow water there. I swear I'm okay. No, but yeah, so summer streams, the idea is I want to pick stuff back up at least to the scale we were at last summer. For like those of you here, I know like Juan, I think you're like, maybe Kooky. For you guys, like, you might remember the summer streams before where like Fridays were super early but super long. Throughout the week, occasionally like a lunchtime stream maybe. I don't know if I'll do those. I'm thinking I just replace that with streaming other games on Twitch. Follow me there, twitch.tv/mindless_enigma. Should be linked in the description somewhere. But yeah, so I think my plan is, instead of doing like the lunchtime streams and stuff, because those are weird and like weird retention rates and stuff, and sometimes I use my lunch hour as like a work hour so that I can get summer hours more easily. So like, as far as that goes, I'm not sure, but excuse me, my throat is dry at this point. It's kind of what's happened. This is the most I've talked in a week. Sorry. Remember that talk else from the comeback of Mario Maker Monday? Ah, yeah. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, so I want to do like just other games, like new games, just popular games, stuff like that, not Pokemon stuff. And I plan on doing that on Twitch for the most part. You know, if anything new and like cool's coming out over the summer, for sure, I definitely want to play it, and I'll play it over there. If I'm just playing another game and like I'm not on with friends and stuff, like, and I'm just kind of chilling and I just want to chill with people, I'll just pop on Twitch for a few hours and stream a game. Like recently it would have been Lego Star Wars. I'm at like 87% total completion in Lego Star Wars on PC right now, and I so want to get there. So like stuff like that, you know, like not necessarily like doing a playthrough, not necessarily doing anything like to completion on stream, but just like hang out for a bit, you know. Been playing a Dislight recently. What's that? What episode am I at? In Lego Star Wars, I've played through the whole thing. So I've like beaten the main quests on everything. I've found all of the Kyber bricks. I've found all of the characters. I've done all of the puzzles. I've found everything in like the I've done all of the, I found all the secrets, I've found all the puzzles, I've done all like the secret missions in open world. Everything open world is complete. Finished The Force Awakens and got salty, so I didn't continue to 8. But Lego Star Wars, the like Skywalker Saga, at least what's on Steam, is the best rendition of the sequel trilogy because it's the shortest. And the most self-aware. Like honestly, honestly, Beck, I won't spoil the whole thing, but I will tell you that they make fun. They make so much fun of the force healing. And the fact that they brought that in. So, like, that's... I get it. I totally get it. Because, like... Just, like, episode 8 and 9 are just... Like, hit your head against the wall. The stories make no sense anyways. Like, it's genuinely self-aware. Like... And I kind of joked, but it's like, it's the same number of missions, but they're very short missions, and very just like, we get that you don't want to be here, we get that this is stupid, kind of thing. Like, you've played it, so if you've played any of it, you know, like, the devs are quite aware of, like, everything. They're very aware of, like, the culture around Star Wars. There's a lot of prequel memes, there's a lot of just in general kind of, like, jokes and stuff. We stopped at the Luke Saga, wanted to actually stop at the first 3. I got you. Oh, you like The Force Awakens a lot? It was disappointed. I got you. That's fair. But yeah, so I've beaten all, like, 9, like, stories, or, like, I've beaten all the episodes, basically. I've collected all the, open world stuff. So the only things I have left are, technically, I don't have all of the ships unlocked. Because I don't have all the mini-kits. I don't have all the mini-kits, and I don't have... I'm missing a few of the Kyber bricks, because the Kyber bricks are linked to getting all the mini... You get a Kyber brick for getting all the mini-kits in a mission, and you get a Kyber brick for completing all of the side quests inside missions. And I'm working on the side quests in missions right now. I think I'm on episode 4 at the moment, in terms of, like, going 1, 2, 3, 4. I have all of the side missions completed in the prequels. And yeah, like I said, I'm working on it in 4. So I have the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy to go for that. The biggest thing with that is that one's a bit of a grind, in my opinion. It can be, because, like, you're just doing... I'm just looking at guides for how to do it, because, like, buying the rumor does nothing for telling you, alright, here's how you actually do this thing. So, at this point, thousands of collectible items in, I'm going to use a guide. So I'm just, like, using the guide and going into the missions and completing those and leaving. Once I get through all of those, which should be in a couple days, even if just, like, casual playing, yeah, it'll be in a couple days. And then I just gotta get mini-kits. Mini-kits are easy enough because they're collectibles and they highlight when you're in the mission and stuff, if you've, like, done all the character unlocks. So I'm close. I'm super close. I'm super close to being done with it. I just need to actually sit down and do it. I just wasn't super motivated this week, because I'd finished all the Kyber bricks just before going to the convention, and was like, I'll finish them, like, Sunday night or Monday. And then I was kind of under the weather starting Sunday night. Woke up feeling terrible Monday. I was like, and I just haven't been motivated to do it. Rip mini-kits, it's tedious. It is, like, any collectathon game. Excuse me. Any collectathon game that's designed to be a collectathon game gets to that point, you know. Mario Odyssey was, to an extent, tedious in the end, right? Like, yeah, you don't have to collect everything to beat it all. Crash 4. Tedious as heck. Like, you can beat the main game in, like, 15 hours and then, like, spend a month grinding for everything in Crash 4. Like, that's just how it is, and there are some games where I just, like, pick it to be like, I'm gonna do that. I mean, Pokemon can be that, right? Like, collecting all, like, completing a Pokedex. I haven't completed it in BDSP, just because, like, I try to do it on my own without all the trading and stuff, and, like, that makes it more tedious. So, like, yeah. There's stuff, there are things that definitely make a game like that tedious, which is fair and a reason to stop. But occasionally I just, like, I need to feel that satisfaction of 100%ing everything, and they did the thing, they were smart! They did the thing where, like, the Steam achievements aren't 100% unlocked until you've 100% done everything. Like, there's actually a Steam achievement for one, like, for pretty much each of the collectibles. Or if there's not one for a certain, like, task or a certain set of collectibles, it's because those are a subset of another one that there is an achievement for. Which sucks for me. Or it doesn't suck for me, it gives me motivation, but it's like, there are plenty of games where I've like 100%ed all the achievements, and I'm nowhere near actually 100% in the game, and I'm like, I can put it down, and it doesn't bother me. I still have that blue ribbon sitting in my Steam library, which is all I care about and what I validate myself with. But yes, that's the thing. Also, hey Mai, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Take a shot for every time Padme said democracy. I thought it was gonna lose your mind. I had the volume turned way down. I was watching something while I played most of the time. I forget what I was watching, but Lego Star Wars was way too loud, and I've had the volume almost at zero the whole time. The Saga is kind of a walking simulator for you and you got bored. Fair enough. Honestly, fair. There's definitely a lot of points where you just kind of are like doing the little fetch quests in the open world, even in the main story. That's why the first thing I did was... Excuse me, I'm sorry. Like, my throat's fine, and then it's immediately like, oh, it's dry and you have a tickle in it. You got a cough. I'm like, dang it. Shiny Hunting, Keck W. Yeah, right? Like, who would do ridiculously tedious things for, like, an arbitrary level of completion? Found a complete Teen Titans series at Goodwill, clean the disc barely any scratches. Nice! My friends at the convention I went to, I didn't go to this panel, I went to a different one. Sorry if I peeked the mic at any point with that. Well, my friends went to a panel that had the voice actors for Beast Boy and Cyborg there, and apparently it was insanely funny. The guy who voices Beast Boy like showed up carrying his like small dog, like a chihuahua or something, in like this robe that was open, like just open, super deep cut robe, and like had everyone do like meditation exercises before the panel. It was wacky just to hear about. I have to imagine like overall it was even more insane. Gonna try to get Shiny Palkia and then go after Arceus. Nice, do it. Do it. I need to like actually finish Arceus so I can do the Arceus hunt. Because I've rolled the credits in Arceus, but like there's still the quest after that. And I haven't finished that. I've gotten to that battle. I've gotten to that Volo battle, and I wasn't prepared for the battles before the credits. I wasn't going to be prepared for after credit battles. That's how you imagine the voice actor of Beast Boy? That's what they said. Like, yeah, it's like how you would imagine him. Honey with lime and a very small amount of salt helps the throat. Oh yeah, I know there are things to do. I just wasn't prepared. My pantry is not stocked with things to do. That's one of the big things right now, right? Like, just with having COVID, like I was kind of like at home, and the timeline worked out where I was just ill-prepared, fully ill-prepared. Right, because I had just gotten home from like 4 days of a convention, which means that outside of like, which means that I wasn't prepared to like do anything food-wise, right? Like when you're out of the house, like I don't know if anyone else prepares this way, but like I try to just like slowly whittle down the food available in my pantry. I am so sorry. I just try to whittle down the food in my pantry and survive until like I go away for a weekend or something, and then I get food when I get back. But I got back and was dead tired because 4 days of a convention and like starting what I later learned to be the first like part of COVID, right? Like I was dead and didn't want to do anything Sunday night. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I have enough food left over. I'll have Pop-Tarts. I'll have Pop-Tarts and corn dogs. You know, that's fine. So I woke up Monday, and it felt terrible, right? Like, horrid. And so I took the test and realized I had it, which meant I wasn't going out to the store to buy food at that point. So I was kind of stuck with what I had. Which is like a container of Nutter Butters, which as soon as you've opened them for more than like 2 days, they're all stale. It's been open for a week, so it's all stale. So I had stale Nutter Butters, little like Tostitos microwave calzones, and like I had 1 can of ravioli. I don't know how old it was, but I had it. I think you're so unprepared financially. You blew so much at PAX. I wasn't responsible, but I wasn't irresponsible at this convention. I bought a lot of clothes. Went out for dinner and to bars and merch and stuff. Yeah, merch. I bought, like... There were like 3 vendors that I bought a significant monetary value of clothing from each. Like, basically each of them got my entire pre-having a job at cons budget. But yeah, so I got sick, and, I guess, yeah, so, like, I'll just finish off with the COVID stuff, yeah, like, man, but yeah, Monday, so the timeline that kind of played out is, like, Saturday night, yes, like, Saturday night, my tonsils felt sore. Which, like, might be the point where, like, hey, that's a red flag. Maybe you should have tested then. Not for me. And I'm not even saying, like, not for me, I'm stupid, which is usually kind of my answer to that. For me, what it was is I have kind of been trying to avoid, like, soda and stuff and, like, fast food in general for the past few weeks. Just as kind of, like, a challenge to myself. Like, hey, I've been eating too much of it. Let's see how, like, if I can, like, just cold turkey stop a lot of it. And I was able to. I'm proud of that. But last weekend I was at a convention where, like, the only food that wasn't, like, a matter of walking through downtown Atlanta, which don't do, was like eating fast food at, like, the CNN Center, which is just like a food hall right across the street from the convention hall. Almost part of it, basically. And so it was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna... And, like, all of that's fast food, right? It's like... I had Chick-fil-A, I had stuff there, so I'm like, alright, well, the con weekend's different, because you're at a convention, so I was like, fine, my like, challenge to myself, this is the cheat weekend, if anything. And so I had that, and so I had a monster. I had 2 monsters. I had one on Friday and one on Saturday. And, and I know, whenever I feel sick, I know how it's gonna feel, and I know how it's gonna play out. And Saturday night, I felt like my tonsils get sore, which is just a sign that they didn't like that I had an energy drink. It's really weird. Sorry, I'm so sorry. But yeah, my tonsils like get like really just like not inflamed or anything, but just tender and really like aggravated if I have an energy drink. So I was like, it's whatever. It's that plus like con exhaustion. This is the end of day 3 of a 4-day con. Like I'm gonna feel something. Having been on my feet all day, Sunday I woke up a little bit more tired and, like, again, tonsils upset. And that was it. And that was kind of it until I got home. And when I got home, it was kind of achy, and I'm like, I'm like... At that point, you know, it's like, I'm achy, and I'm tired, and my tonsils hurt. That's not unusual for me after a convention, so I was like, okay, I'll sleep it off and I'll be okay. That's how it always goes. And then that's when I woke up Monday, and I didn't feel better, and I was like, oh no. Like, that's not normal. Like, I was fairly sick a couple months ago, and at no point was I ever concerned I had COVID, because I went, oh, this is my, like, once in the spring, once in the fall reaction to the weather changing. I'm going to feel terrible, I feel like this today, which means going to feel like this tomorrow, and I'll feel like that on the next day, and then like this and that, and then I'm done. And to the T, my body does that, and like, it's done. And so, like, I always have the same sick, but it's a sick that I know. And then, like, but, like, Monday, the script was already, like, completely blown up. The script was gone. I was like, uh-oh. And that's when I took the test. And when I took my test, I just had those, like, 4 at-home tests, like, that the government set out to everyone in the U.S. And so I took one of those, and I messed up every single step along the way. I spilled the tube that had like the stuff you swirl it around in. I spilled that. I didn't read the instructions right and only did like a 1 swipe around one nostril, and you're supposed to like 5 in each. You're supposed to like squeeze the tube, and like when you pull out the like thing after you swirl it around, like your little Q-tip thing, to like make sure you get anything off into the like cylinder and don't suck it all up. I didn't do that. Everything said like those are results in false negatives, right? So I was like, I've messed up this test. I have to take another because it's gonna be negative. 15-minute test, so I took it. I did the like drops onto the like little test strip, and then I took a shower. So like after like my 10-minute shower, not even 15 minutes in, I look at this test strip, and the control line is purple, which is, you know, the control line. The test line with this test that should, if anything, be like more negative than I am, is pitch black. Like off the charts, like detection of antigens or whatever. I was like, well, I'm still taking another because I totally ruined this test. I spilled half of it on my like bathroom sink. Like, so I actually followed all of the steps this time and dropped it on the paper, and it's like, you know, give it 15 minutes for like the actual test line to like show up. It might take a while. 30 seconds in, I'm watching the liquid slowly spread across the test strip paper. It got to the test line, it hadn't even gotten to the control line. Like 30 seconds in, pitch black antigens on the testing. Like, well, I guess I have it, and I feel like I have it, so I won't deny it. And that was that. I also learned in this process, one of my tests that I got of the 4 is just wrong. Like, it just won't work. The, like, test kit I got, the vials are, there's, like, 2 versions. One where the vial already has the fluid in it that, like, you test with. And one that, like, the vial's empty and it comes with, like, a little, like, rubber, or, like, little tear open and pour into the vial, like, pouch of the stuff. I had an empty vial and no pouch. So it was just a useless test. I was like, oh, okay. So I had to get more tests. After I tested yesterday, did everything right with that last test I had. And it was like, it took the whole 15 minutes, and then this faint little line showed up. So like, alright, at least like, I don't know if the intensity of like the test line really like links to how sick you are or something, or what. I assume it just links to how much your body's reacting to having it. It was faint, so I'm like, alright, my body's less concerned about it now. I can be less concerned. I feel like I should be less concerned, right? Like, I'm not standing in an 80-degree room shivering, right? Like, so like all of that ended up being all right at that point, but. And, like, you know, today, I have more tests. I texted my mom, like, do you think Walmart sells these? I haven't looked, because I've always had mine that are at home. I don't know. He's like, well, I don't know, they probably can ship them. Like, I want to test now, and I can't go get it. Is basically what I was saying to my mom. I was like, please, go get them. And she, like, found, like, a pharmacy had them or something and brought me some. So I have one more now. I took another one this morning, and, like, we should be good. I'm just going to be extra careful and make sure. Like tomorrow before I like consider doing anything in the real world. You have a crush on Garfield to this day, Beast Boy's real name. Is his real name Garfield? Is his first name or his last name? I feel like that has to be his last name, right? I'm going back like multiple conversations now. I'm just catching up on chat. Because, yeah, that was my experience with COVID, basically. Yeah, and, like, I sat at home, I had a fever. And then after the fever broke, what I had is just my tonsils were still very, very sore. And it felt like the worst case of strep ever. If I swallowed, I could feel the, like, sore throat in my ears. Right? Like, that was how bad it was. It was suffering. So, I'm glad that it's gone, and right now all I have is a dry throat. I'm okay with that. Prepared for Volo because you wanted to get all the Pokemon that you could up until that point to continue the story. It's a bit overleveled. Like, that's the problem you end up with in Legends, right? Either you just want to finish the story and it expects you to do some kind of catching, or you want to do all of the catching and it doesn't expect you to do all of it yet. I don't think there's a way to stay, like, properly leveled. You're gonna be super under-leveled at some point and just have to grind, or you're gonna grind because you want to catch everything, and then you're gonna be over-leveled. One of the two. John, pitch black lines, super COVID. Right? It felt like it on Monday. I will say that much. Had one of the ravioli, not sure how old it was, but I had it. That's what I had. That's what I had in my pantry, though. Like, that's what I had, you know. I'm running dangerously low on food, and I don't really want to go out into the world as much as possible until, like, tomorrow. Gen 9's looking good so far. Hopefully it's better than the Gen 8. Yeah, we did get the trailer. I want to talk about that some. If I heard when you woke up and didn't think the test was the night before you were at a club. I thought it was because you partied too hard. Hey, that's fair though, right? Like I said, I have the test they set in January and it's June. Like, you might think that like any responsible, like I get it because I imagine there's people out there who's like it's irresponsible. Like, you know, you've been sick at least once. You should use at least one of those tests between like January and now. But it's like, but I know what my sicknesses feel like, and like while the symptoms are the same, I know the causes are different, and so it's gonna follow different, like it's gonna be a different flow at least a little bit, right? So that was kind of my thought without using them until like this summer. I was like, uh-oh, something is wrong. You did a rapid and it was the vid. RIP. Yeah. Because you've not been sick in almost 5 years. I'm jealous. I'm jealous because I know the feeling of actually being able to avoid being sick with like the initial like 2020 lockdown. Where it's like I was inside for pretty much all of the time. I was inside and wearing masks the entire time that like pollen would normally be killing me. And so like I enjoyed the brief moments of not feeling sick. I was like, oh my god. And then I got sick and I was like, oh yeah, this is life. How? What was the how? Was the how for me messing up the like test? Yeah, Gen 9 trailer looked cool. Yeah, it looked promising. It's very interesting, and it's definitely a future, like a past versus future kind of like deal, right? Or like, you know, progress versus tradition or something. That's how it's gonna be worded. Going for a shiny living dex in Arceus, but you would need to trade some of the shiny legends to Arceus, and also have 2 shiny Alolan Vulpix. I want to go for more shinies. I stopped streaming right before like the massive mass outbreak started happening, or like came out. So we technically have new mechanics to explore in Arceus, so it'd be worth giving it a shot. Usually if your throat hurts, it's because you're yourself thinking you never got the bid either. That's good. But yeah, so that was my experience with the plague. It could have been worse. I'm glad it wasn't worse. I'm glad to have been vaccinated. I regret having procrastinated on various parts of that, but I have to imagine it helped me not die. And basically made it where I can compare it to a bad version of colds I've had, so like I'm glad that it's like better than it could have been, you know? If someone's sick and coughs with no mask because they're literally lifted the conference sneeze, you say, could you please keep the mask on the conference sneeze as it was for? Yeah. That's the thing, that, like, that's always kind of thrown me off, right? It's like, that's the point of it, but people are like, oh, I don't want to sneeze on the inside of it. It's like, I don't want you to sneeze on the outside of it. I don't want you sneezing on the outside of mine. It's like, I get the idea of not wanting to, like, have it there. Have a second mask in your bag. deal with it for a while. I think that's the point. But yes, that was my experience with it. It was not fun. Definitely still just be cautious about it, you know? But yeah, that was kind of my experience. I'm surprised I hadn't had it sooner, honestly, just because I have admittedly been living fairly close to like normal for a while. So I wear masks in super crowded places, but if I don't wear it at one place, you know, that's still a chance of getting it. So I got it somewhere. The timeline kind of says it was probably like right before the convention. Hey, Law, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Almost sneezed on you. Yuck. Yeah. But yeah. So before all of that, I was at a convention, which was a blast. I had an absolute blast at MomoCon. Which is kind of like, for those who don't know, it's a convention that's like supposed to be, it was originally like just Japanese culture, which pretty much means anime, but it wasn't quite anime, it was like video games and stuff like that. And it's kind of evolved as a comic book aspect to it. It's I'm sorry. It's basically like just general nerd culture, right? And a massive convention for it. There was like 40,000 people in attendance or something throughout the weekend. It was crazy. It was awesome. It was so good. The only kind of like bummer is that the usual hotel situation was not the case this time, because the guy who like usually has that has moved, and so like his family wasn't getting the rooms and stuff. I'm like, dang it. But no, it was good. It was a blast. It was a lot of cool stuff. It's the first like full convention I've gone to. I've gone like one day to other things since 2019, but like I hadn't been to like an actual like full length of a convention since 2019 until this time, and it was so overdue. I missed it. It was awesome. It started off perfectly with the biggest thing I've learned with specifically MomoCon, and it's one of those things that I will, like, everyone who hears like, oh, you haven't done this, like, basically, you know, like, most of the time, hey, tickets are on sale for next year. Most people who know they're going are buying their ticket now for all 4 days to get like $30 off the whole ticket, stuff like that. Make sure they have it, you know, and they don't have to wait in the walk-in line, right? Like, you can just get your ticket. I have learned, at least with this one, I don't know if it plays out the same for others, but at least with this one, don't pre-reg. Especially because I'm going to forget to pre-reg while it's cheaper, and I just be pre-regging while it's the same amount. Don't pre-register if I'm going to show up on the first day. Excuse me. Because my friend and I showed up, walked in, the entire lobby is just people back and forth in a queue. And we find like an employee go, hey, is this like for everyone? Is this like walk-ins? Is this pre-reg? They go, oh, that's pre-reg. I'm like, all right, well, where's walk-in? He's like, oh, you're walk-in. There's no one here for that. I'm like, I knew. There's never anyone on the first day who does a walk-in there. Or it's very, very few. And so, while they literally, in this massive convention center in Atlanta, like have people all the way up and down these hallways outside of the room with registration. Like, they go out of the registration room queue and like triple that queue size on the first day for walk-ins, or for like pre-registration. Walk-in had 5 people, and the only reason there was a line is one guy didn't understand he could walk up and start filling stuff out. Like, we walked in, got the badges, walked back out to get food, got food, and came back in, and the person in line that we came in, the person who entered pre-reg when we walked in, like who was at the back of the line when we walked in, because they were just wearing this massive Pikachu thing, you could tell who they were, was not even halfway through the line. Like, I always explicitly don't get pre-registration for this convention, so it started off good when that still rang true, and we just walk in, buy our badge, and walk out. Like, everyone was like, no, you're gonna go in, we're walking. I'm like, oh, you are? Okay, yeah, come on in, right here. Just cut all of these, like, just cut all of the, like, rope, because there's no reason to use it. There's no one in line. It's like, haha. So that's always good. Hey, what's going on, JT? What's going on, Alan? Welcome to the stream, guys. Gen 9 trailer looked cool, want to get Scarlet. I'm still not quite sure which one I'm sold on yet. I'll have to see. You need a shorter stream, make sure you dip when you need to, rest comes first. Yeah, I mean, we're only looking at like an hour, hour and a half today. I just want to get back at it. I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that happened over the past couple of weeks. And then, yeah, we'll get back into it more so once my voice is like fully going again. But yeah, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm good. We rolling. We good. But yeah, so that was the start of the convention. Already off to a good start. Thursday was surprisingly busy for a Thursday at this convention. Usually Thursday is kind of the day everyone's just getting into town, getting their hotel reservations squared away, as far as like, you know, getting checked in, dropping off bags, stop into a couple panels late at night, and like usually you'd see like 5 or 6 people kind of wandering around, and like a few people in rooms, right? Like that's it. That's the whole thing on Thursdays. Not this time though. This time it was like any other day of the convention. It was full. Or not full, like, comparing it to Saturday, it was very empty, but like, it was busy. There was a lot of people moving around, a lot of people were very excited. There were big cosplays on the first day, which never happens. There were a lot of very interesting panels that actually had a lot of people in them. Like, it was packed. It was moving. It was going, and it was awesome. We stumbled across wrestling. They just had like wrestling going on, which was awesome. Everything was cool. Everything was awesome. that's how the whole thing's gonna be. Someone's gonna be talking about that's awesome because I'm so excited that like stuff like that's happening again, and that it's all just like working. And so like yeah, like that was fantastic. I had a blast. Friday was super good. I got a few things on Friday, but yeah, like I mean I saw a couple panels. Friday I saw Charles Martinet do a Q&A. That was really fun. Voice of Mario and Luigi and Wario and Waluigi. Like, he's a really cool dude. He's a really cool dude. It was cool listening to him kind of talk about how he got into it. And when him answering all the Q&As, like, he was just so genuine and passionate. Like, I didn't ask anything, and I kind of went into the panel going, I don't know if this is going to be good, because you know how, like, random people at a convention asking Q&A questions can be weird and cringy, and I expected, like, 90% of it to be questions about something Chris Pratt. He explicitly said he wouldn't answer questions about the new movie, so he was able to do that. So yeah, that straight up couldn't be a thing that you could ask, which was kind of nice. It was hilarious though at one point. You know, most people have been, like, obviously everyone had been asking him questions. It's a Q&A. But we were getting towards the end of it, and as all of these Q&As went, I found, like, even in the lightning round of, oh, we gotta get through people really quick, the panelist just kind of keeps rambling and talking because they're really passionate about it, and they want to be there, and they want to talk about it, they're excited, and they want to answer your question to the fullest. They weren't sure if they were going to get through everyone in line, and so, like, everyone in line, like, kind of looks back and notices that in the back of the line is this kid who's, like, 8 to 10 years old, like, no older than that, and is in this line, and like, hey, you know, come on up, you can go before all of us, like, ask your question to Mario, child, like, everyone wants it to be a good time, and especially for, like, a kid who it might be his first convention, right? So, they let the kid up, and the kid's a bit nervous, but he asks his question. It's the guy who plays Mario. It's really cool. The dude's answering questions and, like, using the Mario voice and stuff. Like, that's neat. And yeah, so all these people let the kid up to make sure his question gets in. And his question does get in because he's up at the mic, and he goes, they get the mic down for him and stuff. They get it all ready, and he asks his question. He's like, what's your favorite game? And it's like, that's the best question, right? Like, you're asking Mario what his favorite game is. Like, what are we gonna learn is the best Mario game? And so, you know, Charles goes on and talks about this. I love, like, the games that are innovative and stuff. He said, like, you know, Mario 64, I think Strikers, which he might have just been saying, because I think there's a new one coming out that he's voicing, so that might be different, but is what it is. But yeah, so he's, like, answering these questions and kind of talking about how, like, all the Mario games somebody loves about him. And the kid's like, thank you, and starts sitting down. And he walks away from the mic. He's like, just tunnel vision on getting back to his seat at this point. He's like, I asked my question to Mario. Kid out. Mario has spoken, leave, right? Like, so the kid goes back to his seat, but as he's going back to the seat, he's like, oh, what's your favorite game? Like, back at the kid. Because the kid asks a question. Let's have Mario ask him a question, right? Like, cool, yeah. So Charles asks the kid, like, what's your favorite game after talking about Mario? And so this kid who just asked the voice of Mario what his favorite game is. He responded with, like, Mario Odyssey and, like, a bunch of other, like, innovative Mario games. The voice of Mario asked this kid, what's your favorite game? The kid, without skipping a beat, once he heard the question, because he missed it the first time, like, he was like, thank you, and, like, walking away, like, what's your favorite question? Or, what's your favorite game? Like, as the kid's turning and walking away. So he sits down and he asks him again, like, what's your favorite game? And the kid, without skipping a beat as soon as you heard the question, Minecraft. Due to the Pathernix voice. No, he didn't do any of the voices that weren't Mario, but they did mention that he did those other ones. Did he say Amogus? He did not say Amogus. There were Amogus. Beck posted this on Discord, though. There was someone in an Among Us costume participating in the Smash tournament, and it was hilarious. Also, someone else in a red Among Us costume kept pulling a knife on people for a picture. They'd take the picture, and then halfway through the picture, he would pull a second knife on them, which was kind of great. But of course, Minecraft, right? Like an 8 to 10-year-old kid, it's gonna be Roblox or Minecraft. That's what they're gonna say. Like, in the moment, right? Like, I could say Pokemon, but in the moment, I would say, like, Mario Kart or, like, Mario Odyssey, right? Like, we're in a Mario panel, we're talking about Mario games, that's what we've been doing the whole time. We're talking about how he voices Mario, cartoons Mario's in. This whole panel is Mario, Mario, Mario. So even me, someone who would say something like, oh, what's your favorite game? I'd probably say a Pokemon in most conversation. Or, like, it's the kind of thing, right? Like, if you ask me in the stream what's your favorite game, I'm going to tell you what Pokemon game is my favorite game. If I ask you, I'm kind of expecting the same thing. That's kind of the assumption of the question that you just say, oh yeah, my favorite game's NBA 2K. Alright, cool. Like, no problem. You haven't offended me. Maybe you offended Mario, I don't know. I don't think that man could get offended, right? Like, he was so genuinely just happy. Like, he was just a good dude all around. But yeah, so that was kind of funny. Just like in this Mario panel, just get Minecraft. But yes, now I've met 2 people from the cast of Mario Odyssey. Mario wasn't the first one. Yes, I've met Charles Martin, or kind of met, right? Like, I saw him in a panel. I could have gone to the meet and greet, but there was a long line for that the whole time, and I wasn't planning on paying money for pictures. Also, come on, camera, come back to me. There we go. Every time I, like, block my face, the camera gets dark. I think what's happening is that light that's up there is just in frame enough that it wants to, like, brightness correct off that. What's your favorite shiny Pokemon? 1! You keep asking me this, and I keep forgetting. I blank now. What's your favorite shiny? I know Jinx is an answer to one of these, either favorite or least favorite, and I keep always missing that one. I'm gonna say Jinx. I know it's wrong. I'm gonna say it. One time you said Milotic. I've said Milotic. Milotic's my favorite. But yeah, so yeah, seeing Charles Martinet was cool. Like I said, I've also talked to the person who voices Mayor Pauline in Odyssey, which that was really neat. She went to the same school I did. Gotta test your memory, and no, not Jinx. Yeah, my memory's failing, Juan. That's been the case forever. But yeah, so yeah, Charles Martinet, that was honestly possibly my favorite panel. A lot of the other ones I went to were related to content creation. Almost all of them said the same thing. I talked with, like, Saberspark was on, like, a Q&A panel. I went up and asked, because, like, they were talking about stuff, and people were walking up and kind of asking questions, saying, like, hey, you know, one person walked up and said like, I'm doing well. I'm sitting around like 50 subscribers, and like, I'm just trying to figure out how to grow and stuff like that. Or like, it was kind of a more technical-ish panel. And so I went up because there were a few of them sitting there, and it had been mentioned one of them had been like smited by the YouTube algorithm before. And I'm like, all right, I have a question for you then. If you are still successful, explain to me this. So I went up and I was like, hey, so y'all mentioned you've been smited by the YouTube algorithm. Here's my story. Subtle Flex was mentioning I was getting monetized. So I was like at the point of monetization, right? Like I was at monetization. Basically, just kind of explain my story of like what could go wrong. What could they say? They could say no, and then they banned me. Asked about that. Yeah, that was. I didn't get much of like an answer because I didn't expect to. Like it's not even like a poorly kept secret. It's not a secret at all in like the YouTube community that everyone outside of like 3 or 4 people who just know what they're doing, right? Like no one, if you asked someone who like is in the hundreds of thousands of subscribers as a PokeTuber how they got to where they are, they would either say I don't know, I just lucked into it, or they would say I just kept posting stuff and was consistent. And that's literally like the only things that are said, right? Like no one knows the actual mysteries of the algorithm. One day it likes you, one day it hates you. It is what it is. Like everyone with that job is stressed because they don't know how they got the job, basically. And that was like the majority of that, right? But it was at least interesting to ask the question. And it was kind of funny to see their reaction of like, Jesus Christ, how'd you get banned? And then they were even more impressed. I managed to get in contact with an actual human being at YouTube and got it fixed. They were very impressed with that one. But yeah, so that was an interesting panel. Yeah, a few more just like random like streamer or just content creator in general panels, and a lot of cosplay stuff. I always go to cosplay panels, and then I never do anything with it. But this is, like I said, this is the first con that's been like the whole con I've been at since I got a 3D printer. I can do stuff. I am making Master Chief armor. I am this far in. I'm actually printing more of it right now. I'm reprinting these pieces in a closer to like military olive green to be a better base. But I found the model for the Halo 3 revision of the Mark 6 armor online, and I am printing that, and that'll be cool. It's Mega Gardevoir. Ah, I see. Yo, nice. Yeah, no, it'll be so cool when it's done. I had to buy so much filament for this, so I don't have a reason to have military green filament laying around, and I used the last of my white printing one forearm. Like this is a forearm piece. This is supposed to be like that, kind of. Yeah, so like, it'll go like on like, it'll be like mounted like an Under Armour shirt with some padding. But yeah, so I didn't have any. So I bought filament. I bought a lot of filament. All of this is army green. Each of these boxes is a full like kilogram spool. And now that printer's gonna be running non-stop. I think the print on it right now is like an 11-hour print. I hope to God it finishes before I go to bed. I also kind of hope I don't stay up that late, but I probably will. It's a Friday night, so I can kick off another piece. But yeah. Where do the fumes go? My nose. No, I mean it's a FDM printer. It's not a resin printer. So the fumes are existent, right? Like they don't not exist. Like I'm not dumb. I'm aware that like melting plastic is still melting plastic, but PLA isn't very noxious when it melts. PLA is very sweet smelling when it melts because it's made from like a sugar from trees. But yeah, so it's very sweet smelling, so it's not like noxious to be in here. And outside of streaming, my door stays open, so like the ventilation's gonna carry like the minuscule amount of stuff out of here. But yeah. But yeah, so like there's no harm in having an FDM printer sitting next to you or having a whole like array of them sitting next to you, especially with more traditional filaments. But overall, yeah, a little bit. It is a consideration, but if you like actually have like any airflow in a room, you're good with this kind. If you have a resin one, it's different. Like my dad has a resin printer, and that's in his detached garage. Pokemon Lapras attack, yeah. I was so confused when like Legends Arceus got called PLA is like for short, because it's like no, that's just polylactic acid. Like that's the plastic. But yeah, so I found a model online for that, and I was like, you know what, like, let's start. I'm saying start simple, and I'm printing an entire Master Chief armor suit, but like, in terms of stuff, it's like the model already exists. The only thing I had to do was scale it to someone who was about 6 inches taller than the person who put it online. And the rest is just putting it together and then painting it. So like it's like relatively, I can get through most of it without a whole lot of effort, which means I'll get far enough and I'll be invested to finish. 1/10 the odds. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Hey, Waddy, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. It's awesome. Yeah. Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for that to be ready. I was, like... I'm super motivated because I was at the convention, and I was like, I need to do something, and I was like, you know what? Like, I have a printer, so, like, armor's easy once it's modeled. I was like, I'm tall. I think that'll look really cool. Like, I feel like any, like, suit of armor cosplay looks really good when, like, you kind of fill it in and, like, you make it look imposing. Am I gonna paint it at all? That is the plan. So, I printed this one in white, and fused it. My sister had a 3D pen at one point, but she never used it, so I took it and I used it as a welder. I did a really bad job on this one. But it was a first attempt to, like, these two pieces printed separately, and I just took that and welded them together with, like, the same material. So, that worked decently well. I'm gonna sand it, and then, yeah, I'm gonna paint it. I bought a bunch of, like, military green, so it should be close to Master Chief color anyways, but that's really just to get me a little bit closer. But, yeah, no, so I plan to paint it all. I don't know how I'm gonna do the visor. I think I'll just buy another, like, racing helmet visor and try to vacuum form it a little or something. I'm not sure. We'll figure that one out when we get there. But my ultimate goal, so, like, the Master Chief stuff, I love the stash. Thank you, Art. Welcome to the stream. My ultimate goal is, so this is Master Chief armor. It was easy enough to find someone who'd already made this 3D printable online. What I want to do, because I've already ripped all the, like, 3D models from Master Chief Collection. You can rip, like, all of the, like, player armor out. My ultimate goal is to cosplay in Halo Reach armor of my Halo Reach avatar from when I played Halo Reach, like, online on the 360 in high school. I want to do that. Like, I just need to get my 360 out, boot up Reach on it, and confirm what my armor was. And then I want to like print that. The big thing there is like 3D models for games don't always make 3D printing software happy because they're like 0 thickness, not completely manifold. It's a heck of a time. But I think printing out my like my Spartan 3 suit from Reach would be awesome. What software do I use to print? So I use Ultimaker Cura. It's free. It has a bunch of profiles in it, so I had a profile for my printer. Yeah, so I've just used that because that was recommended by people. I know Prusa Slicer is also pretty popular. But Cura's done everything I've needed it to do. I haven't done anything too fancy. Juan never says hi to you. How rude of him. But yeah, so I'll keep updating people on the progress of, oh, you use SolidWorks for 4.4? Oh, nice. I have Fusion 360 for a little bit of modeling stuff. I've never printed direct from it though. I always just export to STL and then use Cura. What kind of printer do I have? Ender 3 Pro with a glass bed and a direct drive extruder. I upgraded to the direct drive so I could print TPU. I was able to print. I don't have it on my phone at the moment, but I was able to print this this phone case on it. And like the TPU works a lot better when you get rid of the Bowden tube. Very good printer. Yeah. It seemed good from like all the things I had heard about it at the time I was looking for one last year. Took a snack break. Ah, I see. That's because you get a license from work. Fair. Yeah, I had access to SolidWorks in high school, but I wasn't big into the 3D modeling then. But yeah, so I'll keep people posted on that. I think my plan is to kind of get the armor mostly printed and then kind of like start putting it together and then piece it onto like the upper torso and stuff first. The helmet will be different to figure out because those dimensions need to be probably a little bit more tuned to me. This one I've just literally did the math on like 5'8" versus 6'6" or whatever the number ended up. I think that was the number, and it was like 11% difference or something. But yeah. So that's my cosplay project now. All started from MomoCon. Because I've always been the kind of guy who goes to a convention, goes, I would love to be cosplaying here, but I have no clue what to do, or it's like I know what I want to do and I don't know how to do it, and I just don't do it, and I just procrastinate on it. So it's like, all right, I can do this. I know the idea of this is cool, and I want to do that, so let's just do it. And so I'm taking a crack at it now. Be right back. Just finished up work. Got you. Yeah, with MomoCon, I got a bunch of new shirts and stuff. We'll be wearing them on stream slowly. This isn't one of them. What cons are you trying to make it to? I don't know yet, actually. I know there's a few around. Outside of MomoCon, I know like AWA happens. AWA, I don't know if necessarily like a Master Chief cosplay works as much for. I know Dragon Con's also in the area. That would be neat. I don't know. I know there are a few in other cities nearby too. I know Comic-Con happens. I'm not sure. I haven't figured out my schedule for cons this year. Usually the two I go to are like MomoCon and AWA. I think Gen 9 will break the 1,000 Pokemon roster. You think it'll happen again after Gen 9? What are we at now? I know we've kind of slowed down. We kind of slowed down in the fact that Gen 8 slowed down, but then like the rest of Gen 8, the trailing games in Gen 8 have added new Pokemon, so like we have to be close, and we've already added like 6 or 7 Pokemon. Well, we've added what? Like straight up at least like 15 new Pokemon. Including starters for Gen 9 already. Just over 900 with the revealed Gen 9 so far. Okay. We're gonna get very close. I don't think we're gonna hit it unless they intentionally try to hit it. If they intentionally try to hit it and have like their legendary land on 1,000, it might happen. How many Pokemon will they make though in the future? If they keep making money, they'll keep making them. But yeah, Scarlet and Violet, those will be those look like they'll be more fun games than I was kind of worried they would look like they were at the start when they were first announced. I know at the same time, like when they were first announced, I was very just like in like a not happy with Pokemon state, with just being frustrated with Legends at that point. But I am excited for Gen 9 after seeing the trailers. It does look really interesting. The idea of having version-specific, like, professors makes me think they will be the antagonist in some way. We're gonna be a Pokemon based on Platinum. Neat. Sonic Frontiers gameplay though, I haven't seen that. Is it bad? That's just my first assumption with Sonic gameplay. Also with oof. It looks like a tech demo. Well, maybe it still is in tech demo stage. Who knows? It releases this fall. They have some time. We've seen after the new trailer, they have a higher opinion of Quaxley now that we've seen models. Still number 3 on your list though, fair enough. I foresee myself getting Sprigatito. Technical stage usually 6 months out from release, right? Yeah, the whole game happens in that time. Games that need longer are just lazy. With Sonic, your expectations are always at rock bottom. I always want Sonic to have a win in 3D platform, but something always flops. I don't know. It's strange how consistently inconsistent Sonic manages to be. Right? Like, I think there's something to be said about how you can almost never predict if a Sonic game's gonna be good. I think it's weird. Because, like, they just do bad until like, literally no one expects them to be good, and then they make a good game. And then they just keep making bad games until everyone loses hope again. And it's almost like they realize people have lost hope, and they go, oh, we need to make a good game. Problem is they worked on the game for 5 years and stuff, and the gameplay looks so barren. That's when it is bad, right? Like, that's when it clearly means that, like, the game had no direction. Like, because that's kind of what happened with, like, Cyberpunk, right? Like, where some of these features were so incredibly fleshed out, it was insane. And then on the other hand, like, no one wanted to make a story, or no one wanted to QC. And so, like, the game just didn't have that. And, like, eventually get to a point where you have to release a game, and you end up in a situation like, yeah, like Sonic or something. But also, I think my voice is, like, my voice is alright, but my throat's definitely like, hey, let's chill. And I think that's a fair request from it. So we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do a raid, though. I want to see #mindlessraid in chat. I want, like, to see people get some raid hype. We can raid someone here, which I think could be fun. Raid another smaller stream. Say hello to some new people for a little bit. And then, yeah, we'll get back into the summer of streaming. We might stream some tomorrow. I don't think I actually have anything planned this weekend. Or I have something Sunday, but so I won't be streaming Sunday, and I think there might be some stuff. I'm participating in a game jam over the next 2 weeks, which will be fun. So I'll be doing some coding stuff. But yeah, I think we can, did I just run away again? Yeah, alright. Well, we're gonna do one more. But yeah, is anyone interested in doing a raid? I want chat to be interested in it first, but if we ain't, that's good too, and we can just chill and call it, which is fair. Struggle with 3D scripted games, and now they want to jump to open world. Your expectations are low, but with Frontier it's worrying. Rock bottom. Raid. Alright, we can raid someone. We can raid. Alright, you guys need to go in and, like, be hype, assuming they want people to be hype. And then I'll be in a second, but seriously, thank you guys for being here. It was good to be back. We're gonna pick up streams like way more consistently. I totally forgot to post this one on like social media, which was my whole plan to actually start doing that. I need someone to remind me in future streams to like post the like start of it on like Twitter and whatnot. But thank you guys for being here. I'll be back again maybe tomorrow. That might be a Twitch day, playing Lego Star Wars or something. I don't know. Yeah, and then we'll be back. We'll be doing more shiny hunting. We'll get a bit of variety going again. So thanks for being here, guys. See you all next time. Till then, take care.